It's Monday at Le Giornate del Cinema Muto, Pordenone Silent Film Festival, and the afternoon kicks off with an entry in the Transatlantic Echoes slapstick series. So again, looking at the cross currents between American and European funny men and women. Today's episode or section is on clowns. As always, each feature is preceded by a number of shorts. The feature is Rêve de Clown, an exceptionally rare look at the Fratellini brothers. Now, the Fratellini were the most influential clowns of the first part of the 20th century. What we think of as a circus clown mostly comes from them, how they dressed themselves, how they behaved in their circus acts. So this is an extraordinary opportunity to have an understanding of how we ourselves now think of clowns and understanding where it comes from. One of the exceptional things about this film is it was directed by two very little known, a man and a woman, René Herboin and Blanche Maison de Villeneuve. We know almost nothing about either of them, particularly her, unfortunately. So she's very much a woman director who we want to explore more and know more about. She started her career as a critic. This is the only film that she ever co-directed, but she's also producer, studio owner, so there are all sorts of interesting avenues that we need to be exploring. After Rêve de Clown, we have another entry in the Ruritania series, and a film called The Only Thing, directed by Jack Conway, written by Eleanor Glynn, she who wrote 3 Weeks, which you may have seen, hopefully you saw last year. It's a very, very funny film, and yes, it means to be funny, starring Eleanor Boardman, Conrad Nagel, and featuring the ugliest royal family ever. If you don't have a chance to see it, at least take a look at the catalogue and you'll understand what I'm talking about. After that, Pierre Loti. It's the 100th anniversary of the death of Pierre Loti, one of the great French writers whose works covered such a broad spectrum of topics, of locations. He wrote about Japan, he wrote about Romania, he wrote about the Near East, Turkey in particular. He also wrote Pêcheurs d'Islande, a film that we're screening later on. So he was connected to so many threads and fostered so many avenues of exploration. And so Elif Rongen-Kainakci from the I Film Museum in Amsterdam has put together a program of shorts that speak of all of the varied interests of Pierre Loti, including some of the people he knew. So, for example, there's even a newsreel of Sarah Bernhardt's funeral. They were quite good friends. Films supposedly set, of course, in a kind of harem setting that's fiction, but then also seeing the real Istanbul, Constantinople from before the First World War in beautifully tinted and toned films. So this is a really exceptional program, as always. And then the evening screening, of course, is especially noteworthy, I have to say, because it's Merry-Go-Round. Now, this is considered a sort of damned film because Erich von Stroheim was the creator of the film. He is the one that began to shoot it, and then because he was running over budget, because there were all sorts of issues with the studio, he was kicked out of the film, and Rupert Julian came in to replace him. So it's a film that you're always asking yourself, who did what? Did Stroheim shoot this scene? Did Rupert Julian shoot that scene? Do read Richard Kozarsky's excellent note in the catalogue for a further understanding of the genesis of the film. We're very grateful again to Lobster Films in Paris and Black Hawk Films in the United States, who were able to piece together this film, so finally we can have an understanding of, again, going back to the original vision of both directors, which is so important in our understanding of the film. It stars Mary Philbin and Norman Kerry, two actors who you will remember from Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's going to really be a wonderful opportunity to see this film. In addition, it has a fantastic score by Mauro Colombis, who will be performing with Romano Tedesco and Frank Bocchius, so don't miss it.